What's up, guys? So, I was thinking about doing an Insomniac review, and then I saw a comment suggesting that I do just that. So, here it is, Insomniac by Green Day. And so basically, after the success of Dookie in 1994, Green Day started becoming more of a household name. They started becoming more mainstream. Songs such as like Basket Case and When I Come Around and Longview, all those songs were starting to be played on the radio, and people were starting to kind of know who Green Day was. So they were getting really successful, but with that success came a lot of hardships and trial for the band, such as Billy having a kid and just lots of like mental illness, lots of panic attacks. And that's basically what Insomniac is basically the songs about those bad experiences and basically what came out of that. It's a lot darker sounding of an album, and it's very aggressive, very punk. It's probably their most punk album that they've released. So, the opening track, Armatage Shanks, kind of starts us off with that punk energy. It's really aggressive, really fast. And it's about basically Billy being a pessimist all the time and always seeing the negative in things. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of a negative album, so that's kind of what you expect. And then we go into the next song, which is Brat, which is a fantastic, like, catchy song. It's about a kid that's entitled that wants his parents to die so he can get their money. And it's kind of like a tongue-in-cheek song, like it's being told from the perspective of the kid and basically how he's just full of crap. And yeah, it's a really good song. And I'm just looking at my notes here, sorry if I'm looking down. But let's see. So we got Brat, and then we go later on in the album, we got Geek Stink Breath, which is one of the singles they released. It's about drugs, about drug addiction, specifically meth. So basically about the stuff that the addict is going through. It like describes like how he picks scabs off his face, and yeah, it's basically it's kind of an anti-meth song, which is interesting. It's a very good message, obviously, because meth is horrible. And then later on, we get 3 flawless songs back to back, which is 86, Bab's Uvula Who, and Panic Song. And some of those songs have weird names. I have no idea what they mean. If anyone knows, you can leave that in the comments below. But let's see. I think Bab's Uvula Who was first. So that's basically a really aggressive, really angry sounding song, basically about how Billy Joe feels like he's messing everything up, and how that can't get anything right. And it's yeah, like I said, it's really aggressive. Then we go to 86, which is also another really aggressive song, basically about how the band kind of got rejected from their punk scene after they released Dookie and signed to a major record label. They got kicked out of their club that they always played at, 924 Gilman. And it's interesting. I actually Googled this before I did the review because I didn't know what 86 meant, but it basically means like getting kicked out. So they got 86'd from Gilman in the San Francisco punk scene. It basically talks about their frustrations with that, and yeah. And then we've got the gem, the Panic Song, which is my favorite song off of the album. Starts with a bass line, and then you got drums that build onto that, and then we've got some guitars that layer on, and it's just really, really cool. The intro is like one of the coolest things I've ever heard because it just builds and builds and progresses, and then it finally gets to its peak and blows up with the verse, which is just Billy Joe basically talking about having panic attacks because that's something he struggled with a lot. It's just really aggressive, really raw, really fast. Very punk rock, and yeah, like I said, that's my favorite song on the album. And then we got Stored in the Avenue. I mean, I didn't really ever care for this song, but you guys might, that's fine. I'm gonna kind of gloss over that because it didn't really pop out to me, but it's really catchy. It's a decent song. And then we got Brain Stew and Jaded, which kind of back to back, they're kind of songs that go together. They're both singles that were played on the radio all the time, and I really like them, especially, well, I don't know, I like them both about the same. Brain Stew is about Billy having a kid and basically not being able to sleep, because kind of that's what happens when you have a kid, or at least for the first little while. And it's basically, yeah, about what he went through with that and how it kind of made him an insomniac, hence the name of the album. So yeah, and then right after Brain Stew, you got the final chord in the song that's kind of held out, and then you can still hear it ringing out as Jaded comes on, and then it's just blistering fast punk, like the fastest song on the album, also the most punk rock sounding song on the album. Basically about how he's jaded, like basically what the song says. Yeah, you can listen to the lyrics. It's really, a lot of the lyrics on this album are really clever, really interesting. And yeah, and then we got a few more songs left. So the next two, they also didn't stick out a ton to me. They're Westbound Sign and Tywad Hill. They're like Stuart and the Avenue. They're alright. But I wouldn't really go out of my way to listen to them. But if they're playing on the album, I'll let them play. But yeah, they're good songs. They're catchy. They sound alright, but they just don't really stick out to me. They might stick out to you, and that's fine. Because obviously everyone has different music tastes. But then the song Walking Contradiction closes out the album. It's just a really clever song about how basically people change day to day. Like one day they do one thing, the next thing they're like the complete opposite. They contradict themselves all the time. And it's really, really clever lyrics. Probably some of the most clever lyrics on the album. It's a really good song to close it out. And something I noticed, and this is just probably me being a guitar nerd, but the guitar tone actually sounds a little bit different on this song, so it makes me wonder if they recorded it for Dookie and then saved it for this album, because it didn't quite make it. I don't know, that's just speculation, but something interesting that I noticed. So yeah, overall this album, so when I first heard it, my first impressions were I liked it better than Dookie at first, and then I gave it some time, and I'm not quite sure anymore. I think I like Dookie a little bit better, but this is still a fantastic album. It's right up there with Dookie. I give it an 8 out of 10, just because there are some weaker tracks on the album, but it's still a very strong album, very aggressive, very raw sounding, very punk rock. It's got a really heavy guitar tone as well, kind of different from Dookie. Like I said, just really heavy, almost kind of metal sounding. But yeah, fantastic album. I definitely recommend it for any Green Day fan that wants something more hard and heavy and aggressive. This is definitely that. So yeah, really good album. Recommend it. 8 out of 10. So if you like what you see, leave a comment, suggest some more album covers maybe, or album reviews. I could also do album guitar covers if you guys want me to. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, just more guitar covers, more album reviews. Maybe if you have any new ideas that I haven't done yet, leave those in the comments. Yeah, like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you like what you're seeing, and until next time.